Hey everyone, we're going to get started with our September Q&A. I'm just giving the page a few minutes to load and we'll get started, so just bear with me a little bit here. It's a little bit slow loading, but I appreciate everyone coming out today. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna get started. We just had a little bit of a delay in the video starting, but here we go. All right. Welcome everybody to our September 2021 Facebook Q&A. I appreciate all you guys coming out for our live. As you know, we didn't do a live Q&A last month. We took a month off just to get the page going and stuff. We've been super busy with victims coming to our inbox. Anna and myself have been absolutely just flooded with people needing help, so we skipped our Q&A for August. So we'll be doing one tonight. We appreciate everyone for joining us, and for those who wrote questions in, I'm going to start with those. And then if you have any questions you'd like answered, we can go ahead and answer them in the live stream. If I miss your question, just write it again and I'll be sure to grab it. Hi Bella, hi Judy, hi everyone who is joining us tonight for our live Q&A. We've gotten a few questions that people have written into us. They're going to cover quite a few topics. And then, like I said, we'll answer ones in the live stream. And then if you missed our Q&A, we'll go ahead and upload this to YouTube, our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers, if you'd like to watch it later, or it's late where you're at, or early. Hi, Debbie. Hi, everyone that's joining us. Sorry if I missed anyone. I'm going to try to keep up with the chat. It's flowing pretty rapidly. Hi, Jean. Hi, Susan. Hi, everybody, if I missed you. We're going to get started. We're going to talk about a few subjects tonight, one of which being summer is gone. Summer has went very quickly, and as you know, we're into almost October. So the holidays are coming up, and scammers are starting to flood potential victims with fake profiles around this time of year. And a lot of people have asked us, why is it so busy this time of year with scammers making fake profiles? We've had people tell us that they're just getting flooded with fake profiles and friend requests. One of the main reasons for that is between mid-September and November, you'll notice an influx of scammers using fake profiles to try and get to know you. The reason for this is because Christmas is coming up shortly. And what scammers do is they start right now trying to build a relationship with a target victim so that when Christmas rolls around, they've got that relationship built with their target victim, and then they'll go ahead and ask for money, gift cards, gifts for their child, whatever. It's just how they work. And so this right now, then, in 4 weeks, 5 weeks time, 6 weeks time, they'll have a strong relationship with that victim, and then that's when they'll start hitting you up for money as it gets into December. So just keep that in mind. If you're seeing a lot of strange, people you don't know sending you friend requests, wanting to get to know you, wanting to be your friend, just look at the red flags, look at the profile. Don't friend a person until you actually know who they are, because it will be a scammer more than likely. They're just they're racing right now to get victims and get them on the hook. So just something to keep in mind. The first question we had somebody ask us tonight, and hi everyone who's joining the chat, it's good to see everybody. We had a lady write in a question that she'd like to be answered, and the question is, I spoke to a man online and was scammed by him. He said for me to send money to a special account he only told me about and only he and I knew about. Send the money. So a lot of people get scared when a scammer using a fake profile will tell you, honey, you need to send the money to this person. Only you and I know. This is top secret. The truth of the matter is it's not top secret. As harsh as it sounds, you're not special. The scammer has told many victims to send money to these accounts. So if you're talking to somebody online and they tell you, I need you to send money to this special person and only you and I know about the account and it's very secret, so please don't tell anyone, it's not true. The scammer has given this account to many people to send money to and many victims to send money to. So, don't be afraid to share the information with our page. We never reveal a victim's information or where we got the information from, but just know that you're not alone. Scammers will have 2 or 3 or 4 victims on the hook at one time, and they'll have you send money. They'll have all these victims send money, usually to the same location or the same Bitcoin account or the same victim or money mule. So don't be afraid to share that information. You're perfectly safe. Hi, everybody. Just checking the comments. Western Union continues to do what it always does. They allow these scams. Absolutely. The lawsuits slowed them down a little bit. Same with MoneyGram, but they're still letting people send money, and I don't think it'll ever end. I think a lot of scammers are now migrating over to Bitcoin. They're having victims send Bitcoin because it's a little bit more untraceable, and so that seems to be the new thing. But yeah, Western Union, MoneyGram, Walmart Money to Money, they're still allowing scams to happen on their service. I don't think it'll ever change. It's gotten a little harder for scammers to pick up money, so you don't see many scammers saying, send the money to Nigeria. You don't see that as much. You have them using Bitcoin instead. But yeah, it's still continuing. Susan, I received 32 requests this week of fake profiles. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. As you know, Betty, our character Betty, is on Facebook. She's also on Facebook Dating, but on Facebook, just this week, she has gotten 188 friend requests. About 180 of them are all fake profiles. I think 8 of them were real people who just happened to live in her area and wanted to be friends. But a lot of fake profiles are hitting up victims at this time. So be super aware of it. Don't accept friend requests from people you don't know. And if it's someone you might want to know, just keep in mind you don't have to friend them to talk to them. So don't allow them on your friends list because they can steal your photos, they can steal your friends' information and profile links. It's just not a safe thing to do. Beverly, so many are trying to message me on Facebook Messenger. A fake Keith Harkins, the Celtic Thunder, he tried 5 times in one day. I would delete and he made another fake. I had to go back to his fake profile and block. Scammers are getting more aggressive. Anna and myself are in a lot of groups that are run by scammers. We use fake profiles and different identities to get into these scammer-run groups to see what the Yahoo boys are doing and things like that. And they're telling the Yahoo boys and a lot of the other scammer groups are telling scammers to be very aggressive. So before, when a lot of scammers would use fake profiles, they would be like, "Oh, hello, dear. Oh, you okay? You don't want to friend me?" And then they'd move on to another victim. A lot of them are instructing these scammers to be very aggressive and to continue sending friend requests, to continue making fake profiles and going after one target victim. So instead of them sending friend requests to 50 ladies, they're sending friend requests to 1 or 2, and they're just targeting them, and if you block them, they'll come back again and again and again. I've noticed this with my Betty profile. I blocked a gentleman who was fake, and his profile was removed by Facebook, surprisingly. He came back 7 or 8 more times, and now he's stalking me, and he's trying to find me on TikTok. He's trying to find me on Instagram. He's stalking me, and he's very aggressive. So that is something to be aware of. They are getting more aggressive with how they send friend requests, how they, we used to always say to people, "Oh, just block the scammer and move on." And right now it's kind of hard to do because they keep coming back. They keep becoming more aggressive and more angry with target victims. So, yes, you have to keep blocking them, but do be aware that they are getting very, very aggressive, very, very demanding that you talk to them. So, as frustrating as it is, all we can say is keep blocking them, and eventually they're going to find someone else to harass. But it is very frustrating. Lily, the best way to stop them is firstly not accept friend requests, and secondly, if all of a sudden you have someone greeting you with "hello, dear," and you don't know, block it immediately. Absolutely. The problem we have with a lot of victims is they don't block these fakes. I can guarantee Anna and myself probably talk to at least a dozen people a day who will say to us, "Well, I knew he was fake, but I didn't want to block him." Why? If you know a person's fake, block them. Don't spend time debating on whether you want to block them. Don't even acknowledge them. Just if they say "hello, dear" in your messenger and you look at them and you know they're fake, block them and get them out of your life. They're not worth hanging on to see if you might want to talk to them. You just need to block and go on. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. Hi, everyone that's just joining us. Again, if I met online, you guys said he is fake and the profile is fake. However, he sent me tons of videos of himself. He will write to me and say he's in the office and then send a video of himself in an office. Happens is scammers will find a person they want to steal their profile, or their photos. So let's say a scammer is on Instagram and they find a man whose photos they want to use, and that man has tons of videos. And they say, okay, this is the video of Bob, he's cooking. And then they'll find a victim and they'll say, hello, dear, I'm in the kitchen cooking. And then they'll send that video. So this is where you need to be smart about it. And you need to say this. You say to the person, that's great, you're sending me all these videos. I want you to send me a video of you writing my name on a piece of paper, holding that paper up to your face while on the video. So, it's one thing to say, send me a video of you in your office, and the scammer goes and has a video of this man that they stole his photos and videos from and put it in the office and, send it to you. So that's the best way to tell. And that's the best thing you can do. A real genuine person, if you ask them to write your name on paper and hold it up to their face while on video, they'll do it. A scammer will either send you a pre-recorded video of something else or make up an excuse. So just keep that in mind. Hi, Honey Jackson. Good to see you. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm not sure if you're having volume issues. It might be a connection issue. My volume's up, so hopefully it'll fix itself. If not, it might be best to log out and log back in, and it might resolve itself. We've had issues before on Facebook with the volume and with the video freezing. All of our camera equipment and our audio equipment is brand new and it's good quality stuff, so I'm not sure why it's freezing. I think Facebook's kind of garbage anyways. So, and we will be doing a live stream on YouTube soon as well. So if you want to join us on YouTube for a live stream, we'll announce when we're doing that as well. But as far as everything freezing, I've got everything showing me it's working. So I apologize. You might want to log back in and rejoin the live. So I apologize if there's any issues. If it does keep up, I can go over to YouTube. That's the only other thing we can do. But my internet, everything is working very, very strongly. So might be just a glitch with your internet or your device as well, or Facebook. So next question we have, someone asked, and it's a pretty good one as well. It's what type of scams are you seeing an increase of? Are they still romance scams or something else? Who are your victims? What's the large majority of your victims dealing with as far as being scammed, and what they were told and how? So, romance scams are, still pretty strong. I mean, there's scammers are making fake military profiles, oil rig engineer, all that crap. Facebook dating is full of scammers. But we're seeing more of an increase in investment scams. So, scams where they say they're Forex traders or they're into some kind of stock trading or Bitcoin mining. More and more scammers are making profiles saying they're professional Bitcoin miners or, something like that. And then they're having, people invest. Romance scams are still prevalent, but it's more or less investment scams, and they're having victims, instead of, like we covered before, instead of sending money to Western Union to say Lagos or Accra, They're having you send investment via Bitcoin and Cash App, PayPal. So those are kind of the new scams that are happening, and we're finding a lot of younger people are becoming victims of these investment scams, of these scams where they say, "I'm a forex trader. If you give me $1,000, I'm going to show you how I just made you $10,000." And then they send the victim the fake investment portfolio or the bank account with the money in it, and those kind of scams keep rolling. Those are the ones we're seeing more often, and we're seeing a lot of victims fall for that very quickly. The reason why they do is because if you think about it, romance scams can take weeks or months to build a person's trust romantically before asking for money. Investment scams are quick. Investment scams, you could go to a target victim and say, "Look, if you invest right now, you can make $10,000," and the person invests. Whereas a romance scam, it takes a scammer weeks, months, long time before they can romance that victim and build that trust. Where an investment scam, they don't have to build trust with you. They can just show you graphs and charts and fake bank accounts, and a person is lured in by that money. So they are growing. It's definitely becoming a huge, huge, huge issue. So just keep that in mind. But it is happening quite often. So more people are falling for those type of scams more than anything else. So I hope everyone's doing okay. Barely a lot of storms going on. Actually, we're having really bad weather here where I live. We've had a lot of bad rain, a lot of wind, a lot of that stuff. And so, but everything seems to be working okay on my end. So I apologize if you guys are having some issues. The first day that they love to say, "I am real." If they are real, then it won't be any problem for them to send a video, which they refuse to do. Big red flag. Absolutely. And that's another thing too. Generally when you're talking to somebody online and you just first meet them, it's a red flag when someone says, trust me, I'm real, you need to trust me." A genuine person doesn't have to convince you to trust them. So a lot of scammers will say, "You need to trust me, dear, trust me," and then you ask them to do something and they'll say, "Oh no," and they twist it, they put it on you. So let's say you're talking to a man online and you ask him to make a video or go live on a video and write your name on paper or wave his arms, and they refuse to do it. Then they'll turn it around and they'll say to you, "You need to trust me." They manipulate you. So just remember, a real person doesn't need to convince you to trust them. They should be trustworthy. Robin, what if he said that he needs me to send him money to order to video chat with him because of no signal? It doesn't cost money to video chat. It's a scam. A lot of scammers will tell victims, "Oh, you need to buy me an iTunes card, or you need to send money for me to video chat." It's a scam. It's scammers. Video chatting is free. And we'll cover this. If you're talking to a military man, they do not need to pay to video chat. I've had many friends who have been in Afghanistan and in Iraq during conflict, and they have video chatted with me, with their wives and friends and brothers and everything. It's all free. So if they're telling you that they're in the military and you need to pay to video chat, that's also a scam. And the scammer says, "Alai, how would I reply to make them think I'm also a scammer so they leave?" You could say, "How far, guy?" That's the link to it up after this live stream. It's tons of Nigerian slang words and a lot of slang that the scammers use. So that's a great way. And a lot of them do say that to see if you are a Nigerian scammer as well. But I usually will either block them when they say it, or they'll say, I'll just say, "How far, guy?" And they'll start chatting with you they might start chatting with you, or they might just go away and leave you alone. But that's the way to say it. Rosa, I've been scammed for 8 years. I'm so ashamed. So I'm sorry to hear that, and just keep in mind there's no reason to be ashamed. So if you're the victim of a scam, a lot of people are ashamed of it, and you shouldn't be. You're the victim of a crime, and there's a lot of stigma that comes with being scammed online. But just keep in mind, you are the victim of a crime. It's no different than if you were robbed at gunpoint or you were carjacked. You are a victim of a criminal, crime. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And you're not alone in that. We've had a lot of victims lately that have been very upset, saying they feel alone, they don't feel supported. And so just know that you are not alone, and there's always support. People have asked us if we run a support group. Anna and myself used to. We used to run a victim support group. We had a private group on Facebook, but the issue we had was we didn't have enough time to be there for everybody. So we had to give up that support group. But there are scam victim support groups out there. There's a lot of great ones. And there's a lot of victims that have gathered together to support each other. And so don't be afraid to reach out and find those groups, because it's helpful to a lot of people to be able to talk to someone of their peer who has also been scammed. So I have quite a few Facebook friends that want a video chat, but I'm too shy and I don't accept audio calls either. Should I accept them? It depends. So that's kind of a weird thing. Okay, so let's say it's a hard one to answer, because do you have a lot of Facebook friends that are people you know, or are they just strangers that you've friended that want a video chat? I did an experiment with Betty, and I friended a lot of fakes, and I friended like probably 20 or 30 real people who are from her city. And a lot of them were genuine men who wanted to video chat because they wanted a date or they wanted to get to know Betty, and I would refuse them because I knew they were real. But it depends on the person. Now, if you're friending people that you don't know, and they're just friends from Facebook that you've never met or you don't know, you don't have to video chat them if you don't feel comfortable. But it doesn't hurt if it's someone that you know or you like, that you know who they are and you know they're not a fake, to video chat. But keep in mind as well, there is a dark side to video chatting people you don't know. And the one thing is, if they're people you don't know, and I don't want to stigmatize certain countries, but there are certain men from certain countries who friend request women, and I don't want to label particular countries, but there are some from certain countries who will video chat, who like to friend Western women or British women, whatever, and then when they video chat with you and you accept their video chat, they've got their pants around their ankles and they're looking for sex chat. So, it comes down to who is video chatting, who wants to video chat with you. If you've accepted strangers and you don't know who they are, I wouldn't advise friending strangers you don't know, but if they're people that you've accepted, maybe chat with them first in Messenger and find out who they are. So if you're talking to, someone in Messenger and it's a guy and you've never met him, you don't know him, you just friended him because he sent you a friend request, and he's like I don't want to stigmatize certain countries, but let's say a 30-year-old guy from India, and you've never met him, and he keeps messaging you wanting the video or keeps saying things that are maybe a little borderline inappropriate, I wouldn't video chat him, just because you know what kind of video chat he's going to want. But my best advice to you would be to text with him first in Messenger, see who the person is, feel them out, and then decide if you want to video chat with them. But keep in mind, you don't have to video chat with people if you don't feel comfortable. It's different, because you're a real person. You're not trying to scam people. So you use your discretion. Use your discretion on who they are and what they're wanting. Obviously, if you're talking to a guy that you don't know and he's from a certain country and he's asking you for photos of your private area and then he hits the video call button, you kind of know what he's after and you don't have to video chat with him. So the best way, as I said, use your discretion. If you think it's a good person, a real person, and they're genuine and they're not like a creeper or a pervert, it wouldn't hurt to video chat if there's someone you want to know. So I hope that helps. I don't know. Hi, Brenda. Good to see you. Linda, most of the Forex requests are scams. They are. They're all scams. I mean, and that comes down to, we all want to be rich. We all want to have money, but you can't get something for nothing. So if someone's telling you for $100 I could make you 10,000, it doesn't work that way. Life does not work that way. So it's going to be a scam. Kathy, my scammers have been coming clean to who they really are and actually video chat. A lot of them do. A lot of them will confess to you. They'll say, "Dear, I've lied to you. I'm really a 26-year-old man from West Africa." And then that's when it turns into a whole different ball game. So they confess to you. Normally they'll say to you, "I only scammed because I was hungry. I fell in love with you. I'll never scam again. I want to reveal myself. I hope you'll like me because I'm from here and I'm not the man in the photo. And I really you've changed me. And here I am on video." They do that a lot. And then they go ahead and start scamming you as themselves, saying, "I want to come to your country, pay for my visa, give me money, I need iTunes cards, can you help me?" And um, "I've never scam again, I've never done it, it's my first time," and all that is lies. So they do video chat, they do confess. I mean, my character Betty has had about 7 of them this week who confessed and sent video and video chatted, and they're all fakes. And they end up being the real person in the video, and it's a scammer, and they're from known scammer countries, and then they pursue the relationship as themselves and say, "Age is just a number. I know I'm 25 and you're 70, but I want to be with you." It's part of the scam, and a lot of scammers will confess when they feel like they're not getting anything from you, or they feel like they've exhausted all avenues to get money with their lies. They'll come forward as themselves. So be very aware of that they do that. Next question somebody wrote in. Why do all scammers using fake profiles say they are from California, Texas, Miami, or New York? Is that where a lot of victims are, or what? No. So it's interesting. If you've ever gone on YouTube, there's a few videos done by a traveler. This guy does a lot of traveling, and he goes to different countries. He goes to countries like, the Gambia and Kenya and Pakistan, and he asks foreigners, "Can you name some states in America?" And overwhelmingly, like 90% of them will say, "Oh, California, Texas, New York." The reason they do that is because those are recognizable states that are often talked about in worldwide media. So, like New York, everyone knows New York City, everyone knows, 9/11, they know New York, they know the Statue of Liberty, they know all the stuff about New York, so they'll say they're from New York. A lot of people know about California because of Hollywood, the movie. It had none of the states named. People can point out Texas because it's huge. A lot of them say Miami because depending on where they're from, a lot of music, a lot of rappers, a lot of stuff will always talk about Miami, and so a lot of scammers they'll say Miami as well. Those are states and city that are well known in the world. So a lot of people in certain countries aren't going to know where New Hampshire is or where Delaware is, but they're going to know where Texas is. So, Robin. Nigerian? Are you from Ghana? Are you from India or Pakistan? Or you just name off a handful of countries. And some of them will deny it, and then some of them will confess. A lot of times it depends. I mean, we don't recommend like playing with them and asking them, but a lot of them will come forward and they'll say, "I don't want to tell you." And you can always say to them, "I already know you're not who you say you are. I just want to know you for you. Why are you lying to me?" You can emotionally manipulate a scammer too. You can say to them, "I just wanted a man in my life who's going to be honest. Why can't you be honest? I would have loved you for who you are." And some of them will come forward and tell you who they are. They will tell you who they are. Some of them will not confess, no matter how hard you try. But the best way is just to tell them, "Be straight with me." You can tempt them. You can dangle a carrot. You can say, "Look, if you're honest with me, tell me who you are. I would have given you money anyways, but I just want the honesty." Some of them will go, "Okay," and then they tell you who they are, and then you just block them. So if you want them to confess that way, that's kind of the ways we've found them do it. That's how scam me. Police fraud were involved in January. Came back trying to confess. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do confess, and they're just, they think they're gonna like win you over by being honest, and then at the end of the day, they're still using their fake profile on other victims, and then they're just being honest with you. It's very frustrating. I'm in New Hampshire, and you're right. No one knows where it is. It's true. I mean, even in the United States, we always make these jokes about the quiet states. So, if people don't talk about Iowa. They don't talk about New Hampshire. They don't. I call them the quiet states. When there's news, when there's something going on, um, it's always Florida, Texas, California. So yeah, it's just so scammers, aren't going to know about New Hampshire. I mean, I'm sure it's a lovely state, but they just don't know about it. Let's see what else. Why a scammer after 5 years never admitted anything? I blocked almost years. Some admit and some don't. Some are very good at what they do, and they never admit who they are. I've talked to fake profiles online. Some of them I've been friends with for years, and I know they're fake, and they won't admit it. So it depends on the criminal. Some criminals confess, and others will be stone cold deny until the day they die. It's just all in how they were brought up, how they were trained to do it, and some of these scammers were trained by hardcore Yahoo boys who are like, don't ever confess, don't ever tell them nothing, and so they don't. It depends on the criminal. Next question. This is a good one. Can you explain to me what the app Bottled is? Who runs the app? What it's about? I see so many chats you guys post on your page from the Bottled app. Sure. Uh, they don't know New Mexico. I know. I like when you tell them you're from New Mexico and they think it's Mexico. So Bottled. We get a lot of chats from Bottled. We have some ladies that do chats on Bottled with scammers, and so Bottled is an app. It's found in the Google Play Store. It's found in the Apple Store. It's an app where you sign up and you get a virtual island, and you write virtual bottles, ship in a bottle, like that type of thing, message in a bottle. You write your message, they put it in a bottle, and you flick your bottle out. It's a little game, and your bottle will land on somebody's island. And if that person decides to pick your bottle up, they'll read your message, and then they can decide to accept you as a friend, or they can deny you and throw your bottle out. If they accept you, then it takes you to a chat box where you can chat with that person. And so it's a friendship app. There's different settings on Bottled. You can be a treasure hunter or a sailor or something else. And treasure hunter is you're looking for friends. A sailor is like you're looking for love. And so you'll get different people. I'm on Bottled. I wanted to see what it was about. My character Betty is on Bottled. The most people I've found, you're 50-50. 50% of them are real people, 50% are fakes. It's a game, chat service, friendship type of pen pal thing, but unfortunately there's a lot of scammers on it. I believe someone or two gentlemen from France own the app. They are pretty good about removing fakes for the most part. I think they remove probably 80% of the fakes that they come across that get reported. So it's good. Whereas Facebook doesn't hardly remove any fakes, the Bottled app does remove them. But there are a lot of scammers on Bottled. So it's like any friendship site or dating site. App, so I actually watched like every 90-day possible thing that's ever been made, even the new Caribbean one. I've heard is supposedly coming over to America, but I don't know the status. But I know that for immigration, if you when you get an immigration visa to come over, whether pay one or whatever, you can't actually bring your whole family over. It's not like a free pass. Each person has to apply, and for chain migration to bring mom and dad over and stuff, it takes a long time, a lot of money, and a lot of years. So I don't know if he's bringing over a bunch of people. I highly doubt that, but I know that they've talked about him coming over to be with Angela, which I couldn't live with her, but to each their own. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah. Ruben, my aunt has lost 5 homes from being evicted. She even lived in a mission from a scammer from Ghana. That's awful. We've had victims lose everything from scammers, and it's heartbreaking because once you lose your money or your home, you can't get it back. There's no way to get it back. There's no agency that can get your stuff back. It's just gone, and that's what's so frustrating. It really is. Uh, Rachel, my Facebook is locked tightly, but I commented son of a page called Lessons Taught in Life, and the scammer found me. What's frustrating is on Facebook, we all like certain pages. Like I like a ton of music pages. I like a ton of, 90-day pages and stuff. And when you comment on something innocent, like if you are on Good Morning America's Facebook page and you see a news story that you like and you comment on it, within seconds a scammer will reply to you and say, "Hello, dear, nice to meet you. I tried to send you a friend request, but it didn't work. Would you send me one?" It's unfortunate. It's just infested with scammers. Another thing that they're doing now too, you'll notice, is they'll say, "I'm sorry, I tried to send you a friend request, but it's rude. Would you send me one instead?" They're doing that for a few reasons. One of the main reasons they do that is because when a scammer makes a fake profile, it's new. It's only a couple months old or a couple weeks old or even a couple days old. If they send tons of friend requests, Facebook flags it. And so that person's sending too many friend requests. So what scammers are now doing is they're turning around and they're saying, "Oh dear, my friend request button failed to go through. Could you send me a friend request instead?" It's a way for them to keep their fake profile without it getting flagged for suspicious activity. So if someone is telling you, "Send me a friend request, mine failed to go through," or, "Dear, I think it's rude for me to send you a request. You send me one," just block them. It's a scammer. It's going to be a scammer. It always will be. So just keep that in mind. Hi from Thailand. Yes, all right. Many Russell Crowe scammers come to Facebook. Yes. So Russell Crowe, actor, celebrity. The next question we actually had from somebody was, do scammers pretend to be celebrities and how do they get away with it? Do famous people have more power to stop them? So yes, a lot of scammers pretend to be celebrities. Russell Crowe, Keith Urban, any famous actor, singer, anybody that's famous. I don't TV TikToker. People create fake profiles using their names. Celebrities do sometimes have a little bit of an upper edge where if a fake profile is pretending to be them, that celebrity who has a verified profile, whether it be their agent or somebody that's using their profile, can report it, and it's usually removed very quickly. That's the only advantage a celebrity, I think, has. But if a celebrity removes one fake profile using their name, there's 4,000 more that just pop up. So it's just relentless. But yes, scammers do pretend to be celebrities. They also pretend to be celebrities' agents or producers or whatever. And Judy, you're right, Keanu Reeves as well. I've had thousands of Keanu Reeves. Just keep in mind, whether it's a singer, an actor, a TikToker, a YouTuber that's famous, a reality show person, they're not going to friend request you. They're not going to message you and ask you to call them on a different number. They're not going to ask you to come after them and be with them or anything like that. It's a scam, and the music industry, the entertainment industry doesn't work that way. Tom Cruise is not sending you friend requests. Tom Cruise does not have a Google Voice number he wants you to call him with. It's a scam. It's always going to be a scam. Michael's family can't. I was just visiting, wishing for him. Angela's abusive though. Angela is rough, man. I have friends in Nigeria. Nigerian people, I mean, the ones that aren't scammers are just like really fun people to talk to, and I love people from West Africa. It's a totally, just the people that are the good ones, the honest ones, are really good people. And Michael has put up with Angela for so long, and her abuse. I mean, I think as a nation we should just give him like a free pass to come here because nobody should be treated that way in a relationship. I don't care who you are. That it's just I feel bad for the guy. I really do, and I think I know he wants to come to America. Of course he does. I mean but the way he's doing it, I feel for him. I really do. I really do. Next question we have. Okay. I come across several men online who end up being fakes. Each of them has asked me to send money to Dubai. What is going on with Dubai that so many scammers want money sent there? Are there a lot of Arabic men scamming, and why are they not arrested? It's a good question. So let's get it out there. Scammers come from all over. They're not all Africans. They're not all from West Africa. Scammers come from all over the world. Okay, but a large majority of scammers using fake profiles will like you to send money to Dubai. There's a few reasons for this, and I'm going to be just straight out. One of the reasons is there are a lot of West Africans who get guest worker visas to come to Dubai to work. I agree, Kira. And they end up working over there for so many months or however long their visa is good for. And there are a lot of Nigerians and Ghanaians who work in Dubai. If you've never been to Dubai, if you go to restaurants, if you go to fast food places, hotels, there are a ton of West African folks working there. There's a lot of good ones that are honestly just there to make a living, and they work very, very hard. But there are also a lot of them that go to Dubai for studies, they go there to work, and then they scam from there. So they'll have you send money to Dubai. And if the name is obviously an African name and they're wanting you to send money to Dubai, like I'll give you an example. The other day we had a victim who sent $10,000 via bank transfer to Dubai. And I asked her what was the name. And she gave us the name, and it was a Nigerian name. And I was able to find the scammer, and he was a guest worker. So that's one of the reasons they have you send money to Dubai. Another reason, and this is kind of sad, there are a lot of ladies from the Philippines who will go to Dubai to work. Same with Kuwait. We have a lot of friends and stuff from the Philippines that go to the Middle East to work. Dubai has a lot of housekeepers, maids, that type of thing that come from the Philippines to work in Dubai. A lot of these ladies fall victims to romance scammers using fake military profiles and things like that. They end up becoming money mules, and they will unknowingly accept money for a scammer, not knowing they're caught up in a scam, and so they have them send money to them in Dubai. It happens a lot. We see that probably 80% of the time. In Arab countries, nothing will be done. It's tough luck. Exactly, and that's with a lot of countries too. But we don't personally, with romance scams, we don't see a ton of Arabic men scamming, but we do see a lot of men from certain countries in the Middle East that do sextortion scams where they'll have a gentleman enticed by a porn star video and have them do like a naughty video, and then they'll say, if you don't send me money, I'll send this to your friends. But, what it comes down to is if you are talking to somebody online and they're asking you for money, especially having you send money to another country like Dubai, there's something very, very wrong. And so it just should be a red flag, and you just don't send it at all, no matter if you're sending it to someone in Dubai with an Arabic name or a Nigerian name or a Chinese name or an American name. Don't send money to people. Simple. Is it possible to ping the location of a Google Voice number or a Gmail account? Okay, let's talk about Gmail. So a lot of people will come to us. Hi, everyone's just joining us. Oh, hi from Thailand. Good to see you, friend. A lot of people will come to us with a Gmail, and they will say to Ann or myself, I want you to trace this Gmail. I tried to trace it, and it led back to Mountain View, California, the scammers in California. So the reason why scammers use Gmail so often is when you try to trace a Gmail, and every once in a while you can find the IP off of it if they're using a certain type of device or what they're using to talk to you via Gmail.
It'll give us their location. Sometimes it'll bounce their IP off of a different country like Lagos. But probably 90% of the time when we try to trace a Gmail or a Google Voice number, the Gmail will come back to Mountain View, California, because that is where the hub of Google is. So every Gmail that is sent, if you try to grab the IP address off of it, it's going to say Mountain View, California, because that's the hub of Google. Um, as far as Google Voice, and if someone's using Google Voice, it's a red flag. It doesn't necessarily mean they're always a scammer, but any normal person who's legit, who's like military, who's a doctor, who's in the, whatever, oil rig, they're not going to have a Google Voice number. They're going to have a regular phone number. So if you're talking to somebody you've just met and it's a Google Voice number, it's a red flag. And you should take that as one red flag and then piece together what they're saying to you and see if you have other red flags. As far as tracing a Google Voice number or tracing any number a scammer gives you, here's where we run into issues. So someone who has a Google Voice number, if it's a scammer, likely has only had that number for maybe a year, maybe less. Maybe they just bought it from another scammer, or maybe they just got it, or they've had it like a year. When you put that number into search, it's not going to always come up with the owner. So, phone number search sites, they don't update. They update like once every 5 years. Sometimes they update once every 10 years. So someone's Google Voice number today that a scammer is using could be someone's real phone number that they had 3 months ago. And so when you put that number in a search, it might bring up the former number, or former owner. So I'll give you an example, and this is how far behind search sites are. My phone number I had in Texas. I have not lived in Texas for 13 years. When you put my old number into search, it still comes up with my name and my house address in Texas. But that phone number now belongs to somebody else. So when you try to search a Google Voice or a Text Now number, it might bring up a previous owner. Numbers are recycled so quickly that they don't update in search sites. So what we do is we'll check a number. I will actually call a number that someone's questioning and find out who answers or what it is, and that's the best way that we can tell who might be behind it. But as far as tracing them, it's really hard to do. And a lot of victims will come to us and say, "Oh, I traced a phone number. It belongs to Bob Smith in Kentucky," and we'll say, "No, it's not Bob Smith. He owned the number 3 years ago." So, what's the worst thing you come around? What's the worst thing you come around with a scammer? And do we need to change our phone numbers to get rid of a scammer? Okay, so I'll check phone number one first. You don't necessarily need to change your phone number, but scammers will continue to harass you, and some of them will share your number. Sorry, my camera's gone out of focus. Scammers will share your number with other scammers. So that's something to keep in mind. If you've encountered a scammer and you've given him your phone number, he will come back and share your number. So if you're getting a large amount of phone calls from a scammer, just the best thing you can do is, if it's getting to a point where you're getting phone calls all day and all night, all the time, you might have to go ahead and change your phone number. If it's getting that bad where you can't sleep because your phone's constantly binging and ringing, then yeah, you might have to change your phone number. So it's something to just consider if it's getting really, really bad. And I will answer your question. The worst thing you come around with a scammer, I mean, as far as what a scammer has said or done to us, if that's what you mean, we've had scammers threaten to kill us. I've had scammers send me pictures of dead bodies and say you're next. I had a scammer, I've told the story before, who found out where I work. And he had no idea who I was using a fake profile to bait him. And he found out who I was, found out where I worked. And so scammers can come after you in that way. They're very good. But that's the worst thing I've had, is I've had scammers just make very nasty threats, very graphic and gruesome threats. And what we've found with that is the ones that are really gruesome and graphic and nasty are young kids. They're teenage boys who think it's scary and laugh about it. And it does scare people. So I'd like to ask, how can a login to my Facebook show up in a different state? If you're getting a notification, that someone's logging into your Facebook from a different state, that indicates to me someone's getting into your Facebook, and they're probably you need to change your password. Change your password to your email that you use to sign into Facebook, or if you have a password on your phones or whatever, change that, and then change the password to your Facebook, because that tells me someone is getting into your Facebook. Years ago, I had Betty on Facebook, and this was before I made a new profile, Betty, and someone had logged into her Facebook from, I think it was like Liberia or somewhere, and a scammer had gotten access to her account. So if you're getting those notifications, you need to change your passwords. And then also there's an option on Facebook to do what's called a two-step authentication. So if someone logs into your Facebook from a different location than where you are, you'll get a notification and it'll say, did you authorize this? And you can say yes or no. So the best thing you can do, and you can Google two-step authentication, and it'll walk you through how to do it. It's really easy. And that way it kind of stops people from accessing your account. So I would definitely change my passwords if you're getting notifications like that. So just keep that in mind. I get scam calls all the time. Yeah, Scam Blocker is good through T-Mobile. And there's another one called Mr. Scam Blocker or something like that. It's on the iTunes and our Apple Store and the Play Store, and it's free, and it'll block scam calls as well. The problem, if you've changed your Facebook password already, you need to go to the two-step authentication in your settings and enable it if it's not enabled, and that should help with that. But also change your email password, because sometimes two-factor verification, there you go. I'm thinking of Yahoo Mail. Because sometimes scammers will get access to your email and you don't realize it. And so they're logging in through your email and they're getting into your accounts. So it does happen. Do I think that scammers follow this page? Sure. I've had that question before. So, and it's kind of, people get upset with me because they're like, scammers are watching you. They're learning. They're not learning because they still do the same crap. This is an open community page, so and same with our YouTube channel. Scammers do watch. We know they do. I mean, but what we do, Anna and myself, every day we go through the page. We ban any scammer that has liked the page or that comments on the page. We probably have over 6,000 people on our ban list. And honestly, one or two might actually listen, but they do not take the time to watch our channel, to listen to our page, because they're too busy trying to get victims. So a scammer is not going to waste the time he has watching our page when he can spend that time that he has going after victims. We keep the page open because we want victims who are new to come here and seek help. There's a lot of anti-scam pages that are private, and they're run privately. They're groups, and so when a victim needs help, they can't find help because it's a private group and you have to go through a bunch of steps to join. We keep it open so people can learn, they can ask questions, they can come to us. But we do police the page. We do police who likes it. We do kick out a lot of people, and so I mean, you're going to have scammers everywhere, but we try to keep it really, really safe. And the information we give, scammers, like writing names on paper while on video and things, those are things they can't change. So we'd rather educate people. If we can educate 1,000 people how to stay safe and maybe, keep people safe, and if one scammer learns from us, but we'd rather help as many victims as we can. So yeah, I'm sure they come here, and but that's fine. Like I said, we get rid of them as they come. Please hide your contacts. Yep. Keep your friends list. Like my personal Facebook profile is locked down. You can't see my friends list. You can't see nothing on it other than a wallpaper and a profile photo. And most of the time my profile photo is not even me. It's just an object. Lock it down tight, and you can kind of curb scammers from harassing you if you kind of keep your page locked down. I've been on Facebook for like 14 years, I think. And I've only had in my whole lifetime on Facebook maybe 20 scammers come to me with fake profiles and get friend requests. I don't get very many friend requests because I keep everything really locked down. I'm very careful with who I allow on my page, and that's what people need to really, really focus on. Let's see. I'm trying to grab everyone's questions. If I do miss your question, just tell me and ask me again and I'll grab it. What is my opinion of Quora, a page that deals with scammers, especially military scammers? So Quora, interestingly enough, Quora is full of scammers. I'm on Quora as myself, and there are a lot of scammers on Quora. They do have a lot of great information, but we've had victims. One friend of ours, good friend of ours, she encountered a scammer from Quora who stalked her, who just made her life a living hell. I think Quora is just like any other information site, the same as Reddit or any other thread. Um, there are a lot of scammers on there. There are a lot of fakes on there, and you just have to use common sense when using it. But Quora is great because it does have a lot of great information if you're looking for something specific. But there's a ton of scammers on there as well, and it's impossible to police, every page. It's really impossible. Are there calls I get from people who ask me to renew my car warranty? I get those all the time. I don't answer them. I've gotten a lot lately from the IRS and Social Security saying they're going to arrest me, and it's as the holidays approach, you're going to get tons of scam calls, tons of those type of calls. They're hungry for the money before the holidays, so it's going to continue happening. The fall and winter months in America are the busiest time for Ann and myself because of all the fake profiles and all of the scammers trying to get that Christmas money. So, let's see. We've had a couple people ask some questions. Another question somebody asked is, I've lost a lot of money to a scammer and he's affected my life to the point I have nothing. What would be so wrong with scamming a scammer by accepting money they send and just keeping it? Would that mean I've stolen their money for a change? And what do you think? Don't do it. So we get this question quite often, and it's something that really isn't talked about a whole lot. So people that lose money to scammers oftentimes get this revenge mode in their head. They want their money back. And so they think, I'm going to scam a scammer. It's the worst thing you can do. When scammers steal money from victims, they're in countries where they don't get caught most of the time. Scamming is seen as a job. It's an outlaw country where people don't often get caught for what they do. And so they get away with it. But if you're living in the US, Australia, New Zealand, anywhere in Europe, the UK, Ireland, wherever, and you scam a scammer, you steal their money, you're going to end up getting in trouble. A lot of victims have done this, and they have gotten arrested. The reason being is you're not stealing money from a scammer. You're stealing money from another victim just like yourself. A scammer is not going to send you his own money. A scammer is going to send you money from a victim, which they want you to take and filter and then send on to them or through Bitcoin. So, you shouldn't go getting revenge on a scammer by stealing money, because all you're doing is stealing money from a victim. You're not stealing it from the scammer. And that money would have came from another person just like yourself who was scammed and they're struggling. I mean, it's no different than you going up and, robbing somebody. You shouldn't do it. You'll get in trouble. I will tell you a quick story. We had a lady several years ago. This was like 2017. She got scammed. She lost about $10,000. She was angry. She was pissed off. She wanted her money back. She started talking to these scammers, baiting them. And one of them offered to send her some money and asked her to forward that money. She ended up keeping the money, and it was through a bank transfer. And the money came from, she was from like Nebraska, the money came from like Michigan. And she came to us, she said, I kept the money. I got half my money back. I think it was, the guy transferred 5,000. And I told her at the time, I said, that money is from a victim. It's not from the scammer. And she didn't understand quite how it worked. And she was like, oh, no. I got the money back. Ended up being the money was sent from a victim. That victim's family went after her. The bank went after her. She ended up doing like 3 years in jail for wire fraud. And the scammer got away with it. So don't try to scam a scammer, because you're not getting revenge on the scammer. You're just putting yourself in legal trouble, and you're also stealing money from an innocent person like yourself. So yeah, while it's hard to lose the money and it's frustrating, it's even worse to get arrested and go to jail over something like that. I mean, money comes and goes, and it is financially devastating to people, but it's more devastating if you're behind bars and the scammer is still out there scamming in wherever country he's from. Beverly, was used as a money mule for what I thought for a charity. My bank informed the postal inspector and had shown up at my apartment to arrest me. I turned all transactions over to them. I mean, I'm sorry you went through that, but yeah, people do get caught. They do. And too many people think that they can get away with scamming a scammer, and it doesn't work that way. So, while losing money, as I said, is financially devastating, no one wants to see you in jail. That would be even more devastating, because you'll lose more than just your cash. So, we got another question somebody asked, and it's kind of a long one, but I think it's an interesting one, and it's our last question for the night on the Q&A, and I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. This lady wrote in, and she said, I sent money to who I thought was a woman who worked for the military as a leave processing officer. I know there's no such thing, and it was a scam. However, I played detective and found the woman on Facebook. I confronted her, and she had no idea what I was talking about. Long story short, we spoke on the phone, and she told me she had absolutely nothing to do with any bank account where I sent the money. She wasn't aware of the bank account. I gave her all the information. She said she'd never had a Chase account and was absolutely floored. She did share with me that 2 years ago she had her identity stolen online, and since then people have been filing for credit cards and more in her name and social security number. I have 2 questions. 1, what would someone do if a scammer does this to them, and how? And how do scammers take this information and make accounts? And what should a person do in that situation if their identity has been stolen? So, 2 questions. First thing is, if you think your identity if you're in the United States, and this is different in every country, but if you're in the U.S., credit card or bank account online, you need to report your identity stolen to the Federal Trade Commission. You do, ftc.gov. You need to go to all 3 credit reporting bureaus, put a freeze on your credit, and it doesn't hurt to file a report with Social Security to let them know your information's been compromised. Doing those 3 things, which are all free to do, takes a little time, but they're free to do, will help prevent people from using your information. Now, what happens when a scammer gets information such as your Social Security number, your address, your birth date, all the vital statistics, a copy of your ID. If they have the trifecta, which is your driver's license, copy of that, your Social Security number, and your address, birth date, vital information, they can go online to different banks like Chime. They can open a Cash App. They can go on online banks and open bank accounts in your name and sign up for an online internet banking account. They'll have the password. They'll have all the information. They have victims send that money to that account, and then they withdraw that money and put it into Bitcoin. And you don't even know. You don't even know you have these accounts open. So that's how they do it. A lot of times we say that, people, if you're sending money in the U.S. to a U.S. bank account, it's likely a victim being used as a money mule, and that's true to some degree. But more and more scammers are opening online bank accounts with your information that you've given them, and you don't protect yourself. So that's what you need to do. And once you file a report that your identity's been stolen, it makes it harder for criminals to open online bank accounts in your name, because, like, when your credit's frozen, they can't open a credit card. You will get contacted personally with a verification saying, did you apply for this credit card? And then you can say no, and it stops the process. So that's the best thing you can do. And the minute you know your identity's been stolen, you need to file these reports right away to stop it instantly. When contacting IC3 FBI, and should a victim give them all the info they have from money they sent to different people and banks? Yes, give everything. Give absolutely everything. Even if you're sending money to a 90-year-old woman in Miami and you were talking to like a 20-year-old kid from Ghana, you need to give them all the information, because with like we've seen this with like Hush Puppy. He had thousands of victims, and they were able to piece everything together. They were able to, with all the information people gave, they were able to piece together things. So give all the information. I don't care if you sent money to a poor innocent grandma in a retirement home. You need to give her information up, because investigators can go through and look and see who was grandma talking to, that they can trace where the money went. The thing about IC3, and it's frustrating, is victims will come to us and say, hey, I filed with IC3 and they didn't do nothing. They didn't even call me. They won't. It depends on the crime. Now, if you and 1,000 other people filed the same type of report, the FBI is going to pick that up and say, gosh, we've got a scammer who's got 1,000 victims all from the same state or whatever, and we need to look at this. But keep in mind, IC3 gets tens of thousands of internet crime complaints a year. They do file them. They use them for statistics. They do have your information. But don't expect an FBI agent to call you the next day and say, oh, Miss Smith, I'm so sorry you lost $1,000 to a scammer. We're going to go right after them. It doesn't work that way. They don't have the jurisdiction, the time, the money, the manpower to go after every single scammer. But it's always good to file a report, because your report might help in conjunction with other reports to get a big fish, a big scammer. So always file a report, but don't expect them to get back with you. The same with EFCC. If you file a report with the Nigerian Internet Crime Complaint Center, they might not ever get back to you. But you have filed a report. You've done the right thing, and you've got a paper trail, and that's the best thing you can do. Charlotte, are those apps that say you can win money for playing games real? It depends. So there's a lot of, with the pandemic, it's huge too, when people are in the house. There's a ton of apps online that say you can win real money. It depends on the app. If someone gave you a link to win money on an app from like a messenger chat and you don't know who they are, then no, don't sign up for it. But there are real gaming apps online that are free to play that you can win real money. And I know this for a fact because I used to play on Pogo. Pogo.com. For years I was on Pogo. And it was a free gaming app that you could play poker, you could play cards, bingo, all kinds of online games. I won real money from Pogo. They sent me a legit check with a t-shirt and everything. So there are real legit gaming sites. There's like Bingo Blitz and all those. Those are real gaming sites. The best thing you should do is Google the name of the site. Years ago there was a site called Gamesville, and I don't think it's anymore here. It's been defunct for a long time. Gamesville was a bingo site where you could win money playing bingo, and I won real money playing bingo on there. But like I said, it comes down to Googling it. I mean, not every site is legit. Not every site, pays out real money. And a lot of sites that you see advertised on TV, I know there's one now called, there's a slot game being advertised on TV in America. There's a Bingo Blitz one too. Those are legit sites, but they're free to play. But some of them you have to pay for a membership to actually win real money. So there's catches with a lot of them, and it's just being smart. It's using common sense. It's Googling everything, and that's one thing that people don't tend to do is Google. We have people coming to our inbox and asking us questions about something, and I say, well, did you look it up on Google? No. Google will tell you a lot, and that's the best thing to do. If you're buying stuff online too, if you're not buying from Amazon or some retailer that and you see like on Facebook, there's a lot of advertisements for like goofy T-shirts, and you'll think, oh, I want to buy that, and you go to the site and you get your credit card information stolen. Google stuff before you put your money to it or put your credit card into it, and then the reviews will tell you a lot, and that's the best thing you can do for sure. When you can, post the Scambait Central scam baiting I will, Debbie. I will. I've got a lot of links I need to post. There's a guy that runs Scambait Central. His name is Mr. Pricky. Very hilarious. He's very funny. He has, I believe it's his wife, and then he has real Nigerians helping him with his scam baiting, and he gives an etiquette about scam baiting. All of us have a different opinion about scam baiting. Some anti-scam pages say, please don't scam bait, don't do it, don't do it. Some people tell you do it, but follow these rules. Some people say, you shouldn't do this, but you should do that. Anna and myself have a little bit different view on scam baiting. If you don't know what you're doing and you want to scam bait, you need to really, really think about it. Because a lot of these scammers are really good at what they do. I mean, we get chats that are stupid. Like, you've seen some of the chats I've posted where the scammer's like just an idiot. And those are fun. But keep in mind, when you're scam baiting, you can get people that, scammers that are really good at what they do. They will hack you. They will find out who you are. They will make your life a living hell. So there are things you should and shouldn't do. And if you are not prepared for that, if you are not technologically educated on how to keep yourself safe, then don't scam bait. Because you might get 10 dumb scammers that tell you that their wife died of hair cancer. You might get that one scammer that is a Yahoo boy, that is a Black Axe boy, that is a hardcore scammer who is going to find your IP. He's going to find where you are. He's going to find your internet provider. He's going to pinpoint your house and come after you. So be careful when scam baiting. Don't do it, lightheartedly and think that you know everything about it, because you don't. Anna and myself have been doing this for almost a decade now, and I've come across scammers that they blew my mind. I was like, oh, I shouldn't be messing with these people. So just keep it in mind. Keep it very much in mind. I come back again. I ask questions to you about Russell Crowe. He needed a number shipped card, not because I don't know real or fake Russell Crowe, and want me to buy a Steam card. It's a scammer. So Russell Crowe, the real actor, is worth about, I don't know, millions of dollars. He does not need you to buy him a Steam card. Celebrities like that don't need you to buy them anything. If you're talking to somebody online and they're claiming to be Russell Crowe, it's a scam. Block them. Little teenage punk scammers love those Steam cards. So don't buy them a Steam card. Just block them. It's a scammer. Robin, what if they want you to open an online banking account in your name? Don't do it. Don't do it. Any legit person who is not a scammer doesn't need you to open a banking account, either in your name or for them. Someone that's asking you to do that is asking you to be a money mule, and they want you to commit wire fraud. The bank will come after you. We had a lady online a couple weeks ago. She opened a bank account because her boyfriend online asked her to do it, and she did it, and the account was used for wire fraud. She ended up getting her credit ruined. She ended up owing the bank thousands of dollars, and she ruined her life. So don't ever open a bank account for somebody. Don't ever do it. It's not worth it. Deander, what is scam bait? Scam baiting is basically when you make a fake profile and pretend to be a single lady, and you talk to people that you know are fake, that you know are scammers, and you waste their time. You chat with them, you string them along, and then you expose their information, their chats, to the public, or you play with them and then block them, or you tell them, oh yeah, I'm going to send you money, and then you block them. Scam baiting. It's not scamming them, it's not taking their money, it's just wasting their time. And a lot of people scam bait. I mean, they do it, it's a hobby for a lot of people, but just be very, very careful with it. And if you don't know how to do it, don't do it. It's just some of it can be fun, it can be educational, you can learn what scammers say to you and what to look out for, but a lot of people that we've come across that have never scam baited and they try it, they come to us freaking out because the scammer found out who they were, or they attacked them, or they got hacked, and so it's just not good to do. So just with caution, do it with caution. Sorry if I missed any of your questions. Mr. William, I've been having the Nigerian boys and men from Pakistan sending me friend requests using their own photos. Why didn't they lure me using handsome stolen photos? Why? It's very odd. It depends on the person. So it's hard because a lot of people they'll go, oh, this man from Pakistan sent me a friend request. He must be fake, but he's not. He's real. A lot of people are legit. They don't use fake profiles. They use their own profile, but they might have an ulterior motive. So a lot of, and I don't want to categorize people from certain countries because there's people from all over do different things. However, a lot of people get friend requests from guys in India, Pakistan, Afghanistan now a lot too, in Nigeria, Ghana, any country, the Gambia, Liberia, Togo, and they use their own photos, their own names, and they want to get to know you. Some just want friendship, and that's fair. It's cool to make friends from all over the world. I've got friends in different African countries, but some of them want something more. They want a visa. They want to get out of their country. They want you to help them. And instead of using a fake profile, they're just being themselves, but they want something from you. So, I mean, it's cool to friend people from different countries and learn about their culture. I love to travel. I love different cultures. But keep in mind, ask yourself, what are they wanting from me? If they're starting to ask you for money, gift cards, if they want to marry you, if they want to, sex chat with you, if they make you uncomfortable in any way, you need to block them. A lot of them they want something from you, and they're just using their real identity. They don't have a need to lie about who they are. They're very straightforward with what they want, but they're being themselves. It comes down to what makes you comfortable. If you friend a young man from Pakistan and he's nice and you guys chat about movies and politics and things and he doesn't ask you for anything, that's great. But if you friend a young man from that country and he constantly says nasty things to you about sex, or he, is bothering you, or he's trying to video chat you or send you dirty pictures, or asks you for marry me and bring me to your country, get me a job, give me money, then block him. I mean, that's the best way to use your discretion. But yeah, a lot of people just come to you as themselves and, want that. How do you know these are using their own photos? Well, I mean, the best way to tell, especially if somebody's from like Pakistan, Google the photo. It can be hard because a lot of guys from the Middle East and from India do use profile photos of famous like Bollywood actors. And it doesn't mean they're pretending to be the man in the photo, but they do like to put photos of actors on their profile picture, which is kind of an odd thing, but people do it. The best way is Google all the photos in his album. See where they come up. Ask him where he's from. Ask him questions. See what his motive is. Don't friend a person until you get to know them, and then go from there. That's the best way to do it. I've seen comments. Yeah. Try to read everybody's comments really quickly. I've seen comments on groups I follow that they sell T-shirts for the group. I report them to the group administrator and they block them. There's a lot of different kinds of scams out there right now. Self-purebred puppies and animals. Yeah, a lot of puppy scams too. With the pandemic, a lot of fake puppy scams are happening. She got scammed out of like $1,000. It happens a lot. The one thing to keep in mind, legit people that are selling, I think personally you should go to an animal shelter and get a dog or cat, but there are people that want like a purebred husky. Don't go on Facebook to find one. Go into your newspaper, go into local groups online that you Google in your area that are breeders that are recommended and that they have reviews, and you can Google them. People that are selling dogs online through Facebook are most of the time going to be a scam, unless it's somebody that you can meet in person and you can Google their information. Okay, but a lot of puppy scams are going on. A lot of clothing scams. I mean, there's all kinds of scams. If we could name all the scams going on, we'd be here for 100 years. There's so many different scams happening on Facebook. It's ridiculous. Cindy, don't give them your phone number or go to any chat, messenger, or WhatsApp. Absolutely. Don't give your phone number out. So a lot of people who meet people online, scammers will always ask you for your phone number right away. Your phone number and your email. Go to WhatsApp. Go to Hangouts. What's your email? What's your phone number? A legit person, okay, let's say you're on a dating site, you're on a social site, and you meet someone that you like, and you're chatting. A legit person will not ask you for your personal information right away. So if you're talking to a guy online that you like, and you chit chat, and then all of a sudden within a few minutes he goes, "Give me your email, dear. Give me your WhatsApp. Give me your phone number." And if you don't do it, they get shitty with you, and then they sit there and ask you again, "Give it to me. Give me your WhatsApp. Join me on WhatsApp. We can't talk on the site. We have to go on WhatsApp." Block them. Don't waste your time. Just block them because it's a scammer. It's always going to be a scammer. A legit person who has true intentions will not ask you for your phone number. And any gentleman who's a gentleman will not ask you for your phone number right away. Because, me personally, I would not, if I was online dating, I would not ask someone for their phone number right away. You don't want the lady you're chatting with to feel unsafe or to feel pressured. And so you shouldn't give your phone number out to people you don't know. Scammers will tell you that they can't chat on the site due to their work. I'm not always on the site, dear. Give me your phone number. If they do that, it's going to be a scammer. 99% of the time, it will be a scammer, and you should absolutely block them without a doubt. Why don't Facebook do anything to stop these scammers? They just don't care. It's frustrating. Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are all owned by the Zuckerberg. He don't care. His people don't care. They want money. They're all about the money. They have lots of users. They get more ad revenue. At the end of the day, they don't care about your safety. They care about money, and they just won't do anything. And what's interesting, and I've kind of brought this up a couple times. What people don't know is Facebook gets all this praise for creating jobs, and so they are opening, or they have opened, a data center in Lagos, Nigeria, where they have admin who are working to review reports. And there's a data center in Florida that does this as well, and there's one in Jamaica. And so a lot of times when you report a fake profile, a lot of times it's done by a robot and they just kick it out. Everything's done by an algorithm. Care. So it comes through education. Scammers. Yes, all the time. They will always be scammers. Publishers Clearinghouse only operates through mail. They don't do any kind of online messaging for games, for prizes, for any of that. I'm an avid Publishers Clearinghouse contest person. I have entered Publishers Clearinghouse since I was old enough to enter it. They don't contact you via Facebook, Gmail, Messenger, any of that. If you win the Publishers Clearinghouse, they're knocking at your door with the balloons and all that crap. They're not going to message you of any prizes that you've won. Or you will get a certified letter in the mail from Publishers Clearinghouse if you've won something. They're not going to message you. So yeah, it'll always be a scammer every time. No matter how good the profile looks, it's always going to be a scammer. So I've worn out the block button on Instagram. Me too. Instagram is notorious for scammers. It's horrible. My fake lady is on there, and I get probably 200 people a week on there wanting to be my friend. Gene, my scammer was mad when you sent me skulls and horrible pictures. They do that. I had a lady just recently, and I don't want to get into too many details about her because I want to protect her privacy, but she was dealing with a scammer, and she found out he was a scammer. She lost money. She blocked him. She blocked him as she was about to send him a large amount of more money. When he found out, he came after her and he sent her graphic photos and just horrible things. This lady in question had a family and she was terrified. And I actually went through and I took his phone number because she had his phone number. to her. And I told her, I said, look, this is the kid. And she was pissed. She said, I've been living in fear, locking my doors and my windows, and afraid that this monster is going to come through my door. And it's a 90-pound little twerp kid who is about, yay tall, trying to scare me. So it's just, don't let the fear factor set in. 90% of the time, these scammers who are threatening you are like punks. They're kids. You could blow them over with a feather. Don't worry, about a big monster coming in through your door or some criminal gang. I mean, the majority of them are 12 to 25-year-old kids who are punks. So don't live in fear. Just block the scammer. Why do they need the receipt with the scratches off the gift card? It depends. Some of them sell the gift cards, so they need the receipt to go along with it. They also ask for the receipt, so it proves to them that you actually purchased the gift card and that it's not one that's been used. A lot of scam baiters will use gift cards that have been scratched off and they say, here you go. And that's why they ask for them. A lot of times when they sell them online to people, people ask for the gift card receipt. That verifies that it is a real gift card and it's not something that's fake. So you got a check for $10 once from Publishers Clearing. Hey, you got more than I've ever gotten. I mean, you can win money online. There's a great, if you guys, I mean, this is like totally off the scamming thing, but there is a website for those in Canada and the US, and it's called Mr. Sweepy. It's mrsweepy.com. In a contest, and it's like I'll give you an example because I'm on there all the time. I like to enter contests. It's things like Nestle's chocolate is giving away $100 in chocolate. Enter your name. If you want to enter contests, go to Mr. Sweepy. That's the best, safest way I can tell you to enter contests and play games. It's just a fun place to enter where you're safe, where it's not going to be a scam. So my profiles on Instagram are about my hobby, doll collecting, Barbie and other doll lines, and scammers do try to get me. TikTok is bad too. Yeah, TikTok is bad. Betty is on TikTok. I just recently joined TikTok as Betty, and I have gotten so many scammers on TikTok asking for my information, and it's just ridiculous. It really is. Has anyone actually ever shown up at the home of their any of that ever happening as far as we've ever come across? I mean, that's not to say it's never happened, and none of them have ever been hurt by the scammer. The scammer's never shown up at their house. Nothing's ever happened to them. So that's not to say that it couldn't. So, I mean, we don't want to be fearless to where we think we're safe, but we don't want to live in fear either. It's a fine line. Um, be aware of what you tell people online. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to be fearful. Don't tell a person where you live. The best tips I can give you if you're dating online or you're socializing online, you meet somebody. I'll give you an example. You meet someone on a dating site like on Match, and they ask, "Where are you from?" On your dating site, don't put where you're from. Don't put the exact city. Let's say you live in San Francisco. Put something else. Put Bakersfield. Put Modesto. Put a city that's far enough away to give you some space. People share too much online, and they don't. They regret it when they do it, but they think when they're doing it that it would be. I work at a bank. Oh, I work at Wells Fargo Bank in Tallahassee. Well, now they know you work at a Wells Fargo, you live in Tallahassee. So a scammer or someone nasty is going to look down at all the Wells Fargos in Tallahassee. Oh, I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Oh, okay. Oh, what do you do? I'm a teller. Okay, well, she's at the front of the store. It's little things you tell people. Even something as innocent as saying, "Oh, my brother lives in Mobile, Alabama." Oh, okay, she has a family in Alabama. They take all that information, they go into free search sites, they find your name, and then on these search sites that say we're our possible relatives, oh, there's brother Bob in Mobile, Alabama. So there she is. Now I've got her age. Now I've got all that information is free. So be very careful what you tell people about yourself. It's scary how much information people share. Be aloof. Be a little bit cautious. Even if you're talking to a real person online, um, if you guys have Discovery Plus, you know there's like a lot of stalking shows of people that have met people online. Be very careful what you tell people. Even if they're not a scammer and they're a real person, they might be a psycho. You don't want them knowing your information. Little drops of information like, oh, I drive a red Toyota Corolla. People that are bad will write that down and they'll build a profile on you. So be very, very careful. Um, I'm not telling you to lie about everything in your life because you might meet a legit person. Cautious. Be careful. Be thoughtful with what you say to people and what you share. Because that person might be the love of your life that you meet online, but it also might be a complete psychopath or it might be a scammer. So always protect yourself and your family when you're online. So just be very careful. So that's all the questions that I had written into us. If I missed your question, feel free to ask it. If not, we're going to end this Q&A for September. We will be going live on YouTube. I don't know if I'll go on tonight or not. I might. Betty's got some suitors that want some phone calls. And then we'll be back in October for our October Q&A, probably maybe the second week of October, and we'll get geared up for the holiday season because we're going to have more and more scammers coming out as time goes forward. But wanted to let you guys know everything's going okay here. Anna's doing well, and we're just helping people as best we can. The page is extremely busy. Our email has been extremely busy. I've been getting emails in the hundreds day to day, where we used to get a handful. Now we're getting hundreds of them. So if you have emailed us and we haven't answered, give us a few days. We're really running behind on our emails. So. I finally got clean of being addicted to dating sites. They say I work at a funeral home. Yeah, I mean, what's fun is, if you're talking to a scammer, like Betty, she makes up a lot of fake professions. She's right now we've been telling people she works she makes rings for fingerless people. So it's kind of fun. I've told them all kinds of crazy professions, and a lot of them don't understand the Western life, so they think it's legit. Did give away a fake military is when their profile actually says they live in Syria, Kabul, Iraq, etc. Real military don't say that. Barb, you were absolutely right. Absolutely. Real military people do not say they live in Syria. That's not their home. And a lot of military men and women are very proud of their country. They join the military because they love their country and they love America. And so if they say they're living in Afghanistan or Syria, it's going to be a scammer. Real military people don't say that. It's going to be a scam every time. And real military people aren't friending strangers online either. Like, hello, my dear, hello, my queen. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, that's a good, Barb. That's a good one. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I hope you guys have a good night. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers, I may go live in a little while. You might get a notification if you'd like to join me over there. We'll see. To chat with dear old Betty and see if we can get some chats going. So, if you have any questions, you can inbox us here on Facebook. We answer our inbox every single day. We're here to help you every day. Our email is scammingscammers@gmail.com. If you send us an email, give me a few days to reply. Sometimes I can take up to 3 or 4 days to reply just because of the mass amounts of email. But if you'd like to email us, scammingscammers@gmail.com. You guys stay safe. Have a nice end of September, October. Put your Halloween decorations out. It's my favorite time of year. And keep safe. And if you need help, inbox us. We'll be there to help you. Much love to you guys. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you over on the flip side on YouTube as soon as we can. Take care. Be well. Be safe and be healthy.